For all you casual fans who think Saquon Barkley was just another overhyped running back, you couldn't be more wrong.
How fast he is, the jumps, the 360 hurdles, like, dude, it's pretty fun to watch.
When the Giants drafted him second overall in 2018, he was supposed to be the next Barry Sanders, the most explosive, game-changing running back since Adrian Peterson. But after 6 years in New York, Giants fans were calling him injury-prone and overrated. A bust who couldn't stay healthy when it mattered most. But when you see what he did in 2024 with the Eagles, you'll understand why he's actually been the most undervalued superstar in the NFL. Not only did he rush for over 2,000 yards and win Offensive Player of the Year, but he led Philadelphia to a Super Bowl championship while proving every doubter wrong.
I end up breaking TD's record. To do that, you got to play in the Super Bowl.
So how good is Saquon Barkley actually? And where does he rank among the greatest running backs of this generation? Let's start at the beginning. Saquon Barkley wasn't just any college prospect. At Penn State, he was a human highlight reel. He had 5,538 all-purpose yards and 43 rushing touchdowns. These are numbers that made NFL scouts lose their minds. But here's what most people don't know about his college career. Barkley actually wanted to transfer after his sophomore season. Penn State was struggling and the program was still recovering from sanctions. Barkley could have gone anywhere with his skill. Instead, he stayed loyal. And that loyalty paid off in his junior year when he single-handedly carried Penn State to the Big Ten championship, where he racked up 194 yards and 2 touchdowns against Wisconsin. This was the performance that made him a household name. When draft day arrived in 2018, the debate wasn't whether Saquon would be great. It was whether the Giants were crazy for taking a running back second overall. In today's NFL, you don't draft running backs that high. You draft quarterbacks. But Giants general manager Dave Gettleman saw something special saying this: Saquon Barkley is as close to a sure thing as you can get in this draft.
We really think we really believe in this kid.
Fast forward to September 9th, 2018 at MetLife Stadium. This was Saquon Barkley's NFL debut against the Jacksonville Jaguars, the most anticipated rookie debut since Reggie Bush. His first 2 carries were -3 yards. The Jaguars defense was sending a message: hey rookie, welcome to the NFL. But just when it was almost a sure thing that this rookie's NFL debut was going to be a huge letdown, and with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, everything changed. Barkley took a handoff from Eli Manning.
Now Barkley up the middle, cuts to the outside. Saquon Barkley across midfield, down the sideline, stayed in bounds, and Barkley takes it all the way. 68 yards.
His first NFL touchdown was a thing of beauty. But here's the problem. That one play masked a deeper issue. The Giants' offensive line was terrible. Barkley was getting hit behind the line of scrimmage on 60% of his carries. Despite winning Offensive Rookie of the Year, the Giants went 5-11. Barkley had over 2,000 yards from scrimmage, but his team was a disaster. And that's when the whispers started. Maybe running backs don't matter anymore. You can't build around a running back in today's NFL. The Giants wasted a top 5 pick. But Saquon wasn't listening to the noise. In 2019, he was even better. 1,441 yards from scrimmage, despite missing 3 games with an ankle injury. But then came 2020 and an injury that changed everything. Week 2 against the Chicago Bears. Barkley planted his right foot to make a cut and his knee buckled. It was an ACL tear. And just like that, his season was over. For most running backs, that's a career-altering injury. The speed never comes back. The explosiveness disappears. But Saquon Barkley isn't most running backs. He spent the entire 2021 season proving he was healthy.
I know what I'm capable of doing.
But the Giants were still losing, still struggling, still wasting his prime years. Then in 2022, everything clicked. The date was October 9th. The Giants were facing the Packers. This was the game that reminded everyone why Saquon Barkley was special. 106 yards rushing, 36 yards receiving, and with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, the game-winning touchdown. But it wasn't just the stats. It was how he looked. His speed was back. His vision was back. His magic was back. "That's the Saquon we drafted," Giants coach Brian DeBole said after the game. "That's the player we knew he could be." But here's where the story gets complicated. Despite Barkley's resurgence, the Giants had a decision to make: pay him like a superstar or let him walk. In July 2023, the Giants offered Barkley a 3-year extension worth $39 million, $13 million per year. It was good money, but Barkley felt he was worth more. He wanted to be paid like the top 5 running back he believed he was. The negotiations dragged on. By March 2024, it was clear the Giants had moved on. They weren't going to pay Barkley what he wanted. After 6 years in New York, after everything he'd given to that organization, they were letting him walk. "It hurt," Barkley admitted later. "I thought I'd be a Giant for life."
They say don't take business personal, but it is personal.
The Philadelphia Eagles saw an opportunity.
Saquon Barkley is with the Eagles!
Their division rival's best player was available, and they had the money to make it happen. They made him an offer. 3 years, $37.75 million, $12.5 million per year. Not quite what Barkley wanted, but it was close enough. And more importantly, he was joining a team that had huge winning potential. Now let's fast forward to September 4th, 2024, Lincoln Financial Field, Philadelphia Eagles versus Dallas Cowboys. For Saquon Barkley's Eagles debut, the irony was perfect. His first game in an Eagles uniform was against a division rival, against a team that had tormented him for 6 years. And what Barkley did with this storybook-style setup was unbelievable. He had 24 carries, 169 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It was a statement game that announced to the NFL that Saquon Barkley was back. But that was just the beginning. Week after week, Barkley was putting up ridiculous numbers and performing moves on the field that belonged in video games. The reverse hurdle against the Jaguars broke the internet.
He's everything we thought he would be and more. He's special.
The 200-yard game against the Rams was poetic justice. And the playoff performances that carried Philadelphia to the Super Bowl were magical. By the end of the regular season, the numbers were historic. 2,005 yards rushing. He was the 8th player in NFL history to reach 2,000 yards, at age 27 no less, in his 7th season with a new team. But here's what made it even more special. Barkley wasn't just putting up numbers, he was winning. The Eagles went 14-3 in the regular season. They dominated the playoffs. And in Super Bowl 59, Barkley rushed for 132 yards and 2 touchdowns as Philadelphia beat the Kansas City Chiefs. After the game, holding the Lombardi Trophy, Barkley was asked about his journey from New York to Philadelphia. "Sometimes you have to leave to find out how good you really are," he said. "The Giants gave me my start and I'll always be grateful for that. But Philadelphia gave me my championship." So how good is Saquon Barkley actually?
Yeah, Saquon Barkley was the best player this year.
I put Saquon Barkley. I did.
In 7 NFL seasons, he's rushed for over 7,000 yards. He's scored 62 touchdowns. He's caught over 300 passes for 2,400 yards. He's made 3 Pro Bowls, 1 Offensive Player of the Year, and captured a Super Bowl championship. But more than the numbers, it's the way he's done it. It's the loyalty he showed at Penn State, the resilience he showed after his ACL injury. It's the grace he showed when the Giants let him walk.
I've done nothing but represent this organization the right way.
And it's also the dominance he showed when he finally got his chance to win a championship. Saquon Barkley isn't just one of the best running backs of his generation. He's one of the most complete players in the NFL. A generational talent who proved that in the right situation, with the right team, running backs can still change everything. The Giants thought they were saving money by letting him go. Instead, they handed their division rival a Hall of Fame running back in his prime. And Philadelphia, they got exactly what they paid for. A champion. If you like what you see, subscribe and check out this video next.